In this video, we are going to examine a Battlemech which had vanished from the visual side of Battletech for decades. Imposing in stature and firepower, today we are going to delve into the history and roles of Kalon Industries' Crusader. A heavy mech weighing in at 65 tons, the Crusader is Kalon Industries' gift to the Inner Sphere. Originally designed for the Star League Defense Force, this heavy mech became one of the primary workhorses for that organization. Heavily armed and armored, the Crusader could compete across all ranges and was blooded in the reunification wars. Reliable with simple weapons, it can do almost any job asked of it, barring direct recon missions, and has a reputation which would ensure its popularity among the successor states after the fall of the Star League. Multiple facilities across the Inner Sphere produced this mech as well, including regions far from the Terran hegemony, ensuring that many production facilities would survive the succession wars, which would make sure that the Crusader became one of the most common heavy mechs of the succession wars themselves, and the backbone of militaries and mercenary units waging war in the Inner Sphere. After the succession wars, it would fight foes centuries ahead technologically during the clan invasions, fighting on behalf of the Inner Sphere in a desperate struggle to survive, and proving its worth once more. The old warhorse would then see battle against the Blakists before engaging in the Dark Age that followed, changing as needed as new technologies and weapons became available. Its value and virtues cannot be understated, nor can its deadly array of missiles. The primary Crusader that would be produced for most of its history is the CRD-3R. This titanic vehicle would come with a 260 Magna standard engine installed, giving it a top speed of 64.8 kilometers per hour, or 6 movement points in the standard tabletop game. This provides the Crusader with enough speed to strategically keep up with any formation, and moves the standard expected of a heavy mech from its era. For heatsinks, the Crusader would come with the standard complement of 10. This is largely due to its primary systems being easily heat managed at the right ranges. The Crusader's true power lay in its diverse and large array of weapons. For long-range punching power, it comes installed with twin Magna longbow LRM launchers with 15 tubes each. This gives it the same long-range ability, despite only 1 ton of ammunition per launcher, to match indirect fire support mechs such as the Catapult or Trebuchet. In addition, for its in-close capabilities, it comes with twin Harpoon SRM launchers with 6 tubes per launcher, giving it a harsh scattershot ability even at close range. To enhance this further, it comes with twin Intech medium lasers as well as twin M100 heavy machine guns, the latter assisting in eradicating infantry formations or peppering targets in close. Overall, despite limited ammunition for its missiles, the Crusader packs an intense missile-based punch, which can see almost any resistance to it reduced to burning rubble or scrap within a few minutes of engaging it, though it does ensure that the Crusader would be wise to stay close to its supply lines. Finally, for defense, the Crusader comes with a more than respectable 12 tons of standard armor, making it more armored than several of its assault mech peers weighing 15 tons more than it. Though it is potentially vulnerable to ammunition hits, given the volume of ammunition it carries on board, cracking through the armor itself is no small feat when fighting against a CRD-3R. Able to punch above its weight in many respects and able to take hits as if it were 10 tons heavier, the Crusader is a staple of the Inner Sphere's military, not simply because of its availability during the succession wars, but because it was well designed, and has a reputation of being able to inflict intense violence on its opposition, while being able to survive hellish engagements and make it back to friendly lines. The Crusader 3R is a standard for general-purpose heavy mechs during the succession wars, and should be respected by any mech that is forced to engage it or its formation. For a mech so popular for so long, one would expect there be a variety of configurations for the Crusader from across a multitude of eras and technology bases. We will be covering 3 of those here. Developed by the Capellan Confederation in 2753, only 1 year after the development of the mainline model, the CRD-3L was designed to embrace the Capellans' way of war. This version of the mech downgrades its missile launchers from LRM-15s to LRM-10s, as well as reducing its SRM-6s to SRM-4s. This provides it with room for 2 more heat sinks, giving it a greater ability to balance heat, but in addition, it gives it a huge jump jet ability, allowing it to leap up to 120 meters. Able to stay in the fight longer and able to better cycle its weapon systems, the CRD-3L is a favorite among Capellan pirates during the Succession Wars, and is most certainly not a design to be slept on, especially with its ability to jump, providing it with enhanced tactical mobility. The CRD-4D would be a design beginning to see usage among the Federated Suns and Capellan Confederation in 3049. A refit using the Hell Memory Core, it would remove the SRM-6s from the machine as well as the medium lasers, and would instead install 2 SRM-2 streaks and 2 medium pulse lasers, alongside a total of 13 double heat sinks, giving it an immense heat sinking ability of 26. One of the most extreme deviations from the original design, the CRD-8S comes with twin LRM-10 launchers and 2 medium lasers. It would also free up weight by installing an XL engine and endo steel. With all of this freed capacity, the 8S installs an enormous and extremely deadly heavy Gauss rifle, giving it a killing ability and direct fire ability that other Crusaders simply cannot obtain, and can land deadly hammer blows with this cannon. The Crusader has a series of strengths, which it never sheds throughout the eras of change. It's always protected adequately for its weight, offering great durability and staying power on the battlefield even as the eras pass by. It also comes with a series of vicious weapon systems, often missile-based in nature, able to reduce and savage its opponents with weathering barrages of fire. It is a barrier of steel that simply walks across the battlefield, leveling anything that stands before it, and has done so for 400 years as of the Ilklan era. Its weaknesses are not insubstantial, namely that it has a great amount of ammunition or explosive materials inside the mech, and often heat management can be an issue. Interestingly, despite the volume of ammunition it carries on board, it often lacks the volume per system to allow it to continue long campaigns unsupported, as it will run out of its precious ammunition stores after a single engagement in many cases. The Crusader was a forward-thinking design upon its concept in 2752, one which foresaw the need for heavy mechs to embody their name more appropriately. Heavily armored, heavily armed, and with the ability to crash against enemies like waves against the shore with barrage after barrage of fire, the Crusader, regardless of the time period, is a versatile heavy mech able to fit in most combat lances or support lances as needed. Any opponent it faces across the wide spectrum of battlefields or times will know a new creed when facing down the monster of a machine: virtue, value, and missiles. Thank you for joining me here today. If you enjoyed this content, please consider liking it and subscribing to the channel. There is also a YouTube members program to support this channel as well, and I appreciate your support if possible. With that, I will catch you in the comment section below.